And we're just moments away from bringing you all of the action-packed drama tonight as East Los Angeles College faces off against El Camino College Compton Center at El Camino College Compton Center. Stay tuned, everyone. And welcome to tonight's sorry everyone, there's something wrong with the camera here. We'll be back in a moment. We apologize for the technical difficulties there. We had to fix the camera. Wouldn't have a broadcast without it. But anyway, welcome to tonight's broadcast of ELAC, East Los Angeles College versus El Camino Compton Center. Jay, we both were here last week when we saw El Camino College. Sorry, I keep wanting to say ELAC. Top Ventura. And that was a stunning defeat for Ventura. What are your expectations for tonight?
Well, I think it was the same thing as last week. The key is who can make Compton make more mistakes. I mean, they had 20 turnovers against Ventura, but they had 96 points, 64 points in the paint, 61% shooting from the field against Ventura. So you cannot win when you let the home team shoot over 50%. Mind you, 61% for the entire game. So
absolutely, yeah.
I mean, you got to at least stop something.
Right. All right. Well, everybody, we're going to go ahead and take a brief break here for the national anthem, and we'll be back in a few moments.
We are brought to you inside the El Camino Compton Center Tartar Gym inside Compton, California. Jay Hawley with you this nice and cool evening. ELAC against El Camino Compton Center. Bit of a unique second round game between both sides. ELAC won by 2 against Mount San Jacinto, 79-77. El Camino Compton Center won by 16 over Ventura College here last week Saturday. Williams versus Fitzpatrick at center court. Earned away for Calvin House for El Camino Compton over to Javion Brown against Chandler Reddix. Brown had 26 points in the win over Ventura College. In the lane, Fitzpatrick against Williams leans in. That shot's blocked by Zeno Lake. Second shot by blocked again, over to Lake again, and recovered by Fitzpatrick. Third try is good for Cavante Davis. 2-0 El Camino Compton. So cross court, Burks over to Lake, missed a lob, over to Henderson. Left side for Brown, 2-on-1 for Compton, all the way. Nice move, laid up and in, 4-0 Compton. So they can score in bunches. A foul is on House against Reddix. So 4-0 Compton on top. Just underway, 45 seconds old. The winner goes to La Positas College for the 3C 2A state tournament. 10 seed versus the 2 seed. 2-3 zone for El Camino Compton. Reddix over to Frank Birch. Birch had 10 points last week. Cross court to Reddix. Left sideline against Henderson. Over the free throw line. Birch, a long jumper is good from 15 feet. Frank Birch, 4-2. Compton. So Davis up the timeline, semi-lost it over the House to his left against the zone of Williams. Long shot by Brown, no good. Over to Davis. Now Henderson with the rebound. He had 10 boards second half against Ventura in the post, no good to Williams. Reddix now right seam over to Birch. Pull up Jay from 20 feet off the glass, no good. The bank is closed for Frank Birch. Rebound at Henderson. Henderson had a slow start last week against Ventura College. Long jumper by Davis, no good. Rebound in the key. He was called for. He was going from Compton to the South Bay with that rebound. So still 4-2. El Camino Compton Center for Saquon Walker. Walker had 19 points last week. A high pass stolen away but recovered by Williams. And now converted by House. House had 4 steals last week against Ventura College. Over to Javion Brown to his right. Bit of a loosey-goosey dribble with the basketball. Up top, 19 to shoot for the Tar Babe. Got the wrong mascot. Cross court to Brown. Right side three-pointer up in the air. No good to Zeno Lake. Reddix had only 4 points last week, going all the way in the corner. Birch for 3, didn't shoot it, so they're reset for Zeno Lake. Over to Birch. Reddix wide open. Could put a tent there. Missed a shot from 22 feet. Wild shot by him. No good. Rebound to Henderson. So a bit of a risk for Compton. Brown missed a layup from close range. Over to Lake. Reddix up the left seam for the Huskies. Saquon Walker. Reddix trying to slow it up to Lake to his right. Head of steam. Wild shot up and an offensive foul on Zeno Lake. Had 15 points last week. Bringing Alonzo Taylor and Michael Chavers in for El Camino Compton. Take out Davis and Fitzpatrick. So 16:55 remaining in the first half. 4-2 Tartars, El Camino Compton. Left side for Brown against Reddix. Off the little flare screen is Taylor on the right side. Step back Jay off the backboard. Not even close. Watch out. Over to Walker. Walker trying to go against 3 Tartars all the way. Laid up and in. Saquon Walker. I ain't scared of nobody here tonight. 4-4 early on first half. Brown, right side for Chavez all the way. Layup miss, but a foul is called on the Huskies. So get the foul to Lake. That's his first. So free throws coming up for Michael Shavers. Had 12 points against Ventura last week, all coming in the paint. First free throw short, but gets the friendly roll. The man from Locke High School bringing Chimawami. Also bring back in Davis, take out Brown. One more for Michael. Second free throw up and good. So 6-4 Tartars. Almost a lane violation by Wami, but no one called it. Into Walker. Slight pressure by El Camino Compton. Reddix behind his back. Loosey-goosey, and he ran over Davis with the offensive foul on Chandler Reddix. So good pressure by El Camino Compton with the full court pressure. The Huskies will get the ball up on occasion. Average 17 per game. They had 18 last week. Huskies only down by 2. Almost 4 minutes gone by in the first half. Over the house, to his right, in the lane, double team, and he was called for walking. Or they may call it up and down. Either way, the call was right. Ball to the Huskies. Over to Frank Birch, to Reddix. Around Davis. In the lane, Williams, a wild shot, not even close. Over to Shavers. 2-on-1 for the Tartars. In the lane, Taylor, scoop layup, no. Henderson, the second try is good. Timeout called by John Mosley for ELAC. So 15:47 left in the first half. 8-4 El Camino Compton on SoCalCollegeSports.com. El Camino Compton on top over ELAC in the SoCal Regional Final. Cross court to Reddix. 3-on-2 into Williams. He was fouled. A late whistle on Henderson, but that will lead to free throws for Roderick Williams, the UTEP commit. 6'7", 210 forward. He'll get 2 free throws. On the year, just a shade below 70%, 67.7. So the southpaw, first try, gets the roll. That's his first points tonight. 8-5, El Camino Compton. Second try up and good. 8-6, so bring in Jeremiah Curtis and Fitzpatrick in for Henderson and House. So it's Brown, Taylor, Shavers, Fitzpatrick, and Curtis. It'll be Wami, Williams, Walker, and in for the first time. It'll be Reddix over to Brown off the screen. Back to Curtis. Nice look down and deep. Layup for Fitzpatrick. Too easy. 10-6. Williams over to Reddix. Still with that full court pressure. Reddix into Williams. A little floor from 9 feet. Good. So being very calm as Williams make it 10-8. High tempo pace early on in the first half. Brown to the left for Taylor. Cross his head to Curtis. Shavers had 17 points 2 weeks ago, leading the way. High shot by Curtis short over to Reddix. Reddix double team, and he was hip checked by somebody. So we'll see who the foul is on. They give it to Taylor. So the first one on Alonzo. So Robert Fuller is in for the first time for ELAC. backup point guard for Coach Mosley. With the bright white shoes on. New pair for him in this big game. In the Walker three-pointer, in and out, hard break. Rebound to Taylor. Halfway down, out, hot, long pass to Shavers, laid up and in, 12-8. So a good heads-up play there by Brown, seeing a man who was caught cherry-picking. That was Shavers. So Reddix to Fuller. So now in a 1-3-1 for El Camino Compton. Walker looking over the defense. Going to his right, in the key, pumping once, left, no good. Second try by Wami was fouled. So get the foul on Fitzpatrick, his first. Last week, Fitzpatrick had a very nice defensive game against Isaiah Reyes. Had a couple of charges go in his favor. Led to Reyes having less than 10 points. The first time he had that outcome, the first time in a month. So Chima Wami at the line. The man from Corona, not the best free throw shooter. So bring in Xavier Harris and Jesus Cesati in for ELAC. Under 70% for Wami. So he missed two. Over the house, back in the ball game for El Camino Compton. Brown against Fuller. Brown just looking Fuller right in his eyes. Into Curtis. Free throw line. Double clutch into Fitzpatrick. Second try, no good. There's a foul. Maybe on Harris. So they give the foul to Wami. So free throws coming to Anthony Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick, a very high IQ basketball player. He knows his strengths. He has not taken a three-pointer this season. He doesn't have to. His shots come within 15 feet and under. First free throw good for Fitzpatrick. Took 14 shots last week. Made 11 of them. They were all in the paint. The shots he missed were jump shots. Second free throw good. Largest lead for the Tartars is 6, 14-8 over the Huskies of ELAC. Wami just past the midcourt timeline. Into Harris, a pump. Extra passing to Zexati. The man from Boyle Heights, Reddix, going to his left, driving. Nice pass in deep. Wami's flip, no, but he was fouled by Curtis. So Chima Wami gets two more free throws. He missed his first two. So bring back in Frank Burt to the scorers table. So the one thing, if you're ELAC, you have to get contributions from your other guys because Compton will come in bunches with Curtis, with Henderson. Rags out for Burts. House, they score 95 points per game. So you have to get contributions from your other guys and your role players to keep the game close. So one for two for Wami. Make it 14-9. Shavers in the Curtis to Brown. Leaning in, a shot up. Missed with the tip, no good. Over to Wami with the spin and stolen by Curtis. All the way laid up and in. You have to limit the mistakes as well if you're ELAC. Plays like that will kill you. Cross court, dangerous pass, tipped away, stolen by Curtis again. Fitzpatrick, left side, open, House for three, off the bank, no good, over to Burts. So a very high pace. Fuller to Wami, into Burts, high floater up and no good. The tip by Harris, no. So House wanted the foul, couldn't get it. I guess they say no harm, no foul, no blood. Brown getting real close to that half-court line. Almost over and back into Curtis. Left of the block. That nice strong move is good by Jeremiah Curtis. Now make it 18-9. So a couple of back-to-back turnovers led to 4 straight points for the Tartars. Fuller into Burts. Right block for Wami. Triangle of defense for the Tartars. Off the bounce is Burts. Another steal for the Tartars. A third in their last 3 possessions. Over to Brown. Left side Curtis for 3. Heat check for him, and that was a real heat check there. That was missed badly. So bring in Walker and Williams. Also Henderson comes in. Camino Compton also with Taylor. So also bring in Estevan Johnson for the Tartars. 18-9, under 12 in the first half. Frank Burts to Sakan Walker. Over to Williams. They had Burts open down and deep, didn't see him. Rex with 12 to shoot. Walker in the corner. Back up top to Reddix. Driving, shooting, and that shot won't count because he was walking. So the travel was called on Chandler Reddix. Back-to-back slow starts for him. He was out. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, speaking of traveling, Jeff Stoyanov's traveling over here tonight.
Should be back in a couple of minutes, so look forward to that. That pass tipped away from Henderson to Curtis by Wami. 17 to shoot for El Camino Compton. So I guess we're getting the freaking flyer miles on both sides, both in the air and on the court. They do have some good deals, though, depending on your airline, the choice. I'm a big fan of JetBlue myself.
I prefer Virgin America.
Oh, okay. Shot missed there by Taylor. Over to Wami. Wami trying to be his best point guard impression. Gets a foul call on Johnson. Very surprised you're going to foul a big with the ball. Make him pass the ball, ideally, if you're a guard on defense. So bring back in Brown for Taylor. And also House as well. So Coach Higgins not like what he saw there from his backup guards. So a 2-minute drought for both sides. So down a 2-3 hybrid zone for El Camino Compton. The Reddix. Top of the key to his left. Not getting any airspace. Long shot by Burts is good. 18-12. ELAC only down by 6. Brown only has 2 points so far. A long shot, air ball. Watch out. Too much air inside Compton tonight. So Compton not that great of a shooting team from long range. Shoot that many attempts anyway, but that shot showed you why. Curtis out for Fitzpatrick. Reddix across, double team. Had nowhere to go and a steal, but Burts, his foot was on the end line. A great have no chance of an easy steal by Henderson. Just could not convert. So that's the one thing if you're Coach Moore is saying, just slow down the pace. So a little bit too fast in favor for Compton side. El Camino Compton, that is. Over to Brown against Reddix. Brown puts him on the board. Nice tip by Williams, who wants it. And a foul on somebody in that mosh pit. So they're still discussing who the foul is on. So they're saying is on El Camino Compton. And look who came in. Howdy, Jeff.
I cannot miss a trip to Las Positas on the line. Straight from the airport. Got to get here.
Glad you made it. Well, it's 18-12. didn't miss much. Missed a couple of unappealing plays if you're ELAC.
Perhaps some nerves early on for these two teams.
I think they're waiting for you to come in. That's why they were somewhat nervous.
Now they truly have something to play for.
So into Cavante Davis. So following that mosh pit, the Tartars basketball.
Oh, that's a clear offensive foul, no doubt about it. And you can hear it from the East Los Angeles faithful.
It was right there in point-blank range. You can't miss that one. He's not Kobe Bryant yet.
I mean, if he could get away with that one, that would be something.
I would walk on if he got away with that one.
That would be incredible star recognition.
So the ball back to ELAC once again. So the key for ELAC is getting the ball for a nice shot. They get into the lane, but they throw the ball away, or they can't get a shot blocked, or it's stolen away by Henderson. So the key is being composed early on in a hostile environment. But nerves can play a part into this game. It's a big-time opponent, so hopefully they can, fix it up a little
Well, in the last game we saw the Pirates get off to a slow start, falling behind 8-0, and they managed to right the ship. But then, speaking to the Tartar side, you saw what they were capable of doing, pulling away very late at the end. So they're a team that's going to give you a lot to think about for the full 40 minutes.
Right. So Walker back in for Coach Mosley. Wami, dangerous pass, easy steal for Henderson over to Brown, laid up, and with the dunk. Even surprised up over here. 20-12, El Camino Compton.
It's an ill-advised pass that really triggers that break. An easy steal, and then Brown takes care of the rest.
So Fuller with the rock again to his right to Walker. A long shot. No good. Tipped by Fitzpatrick. The steal rebound by Williams. He's fouled. I believe it'll be on Henderson. So getting back to your last point there, Jeff. When you're facing a zone, the key is having someone at the high post flashing for you. There was no one even close to the high post. There was someone down and deep, but not even close to even get the pass.
And as if that weren't bad enough, the Tartars among the top couple of teams in the entire state in steals. So this is a team that pretty active in the passing lanes, good hands on defense. So you're going to have a hard time completing that pass against anybody, and certainly against this team.
And they make you pay because they get their shots in the paint, and it cut off turnovers too. They get at least 20 points off turnovers per game. So 1 or 2 for Roderick Williams. So 20-13, under 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Been somewhat of a slow start due to sloppy basketball and a chip foul on Robert Fuller. You can tell he couldn't believe it.
Yeah, Fuller's bodying up there, and there was some contact, but maybe a little bit of a tight whistle, I think, on that one.
Well, I mean, I know you're a man of references. He's not Derek Harper of the 90s, so let's calm down a little bit. If you're the man in the stripes, Brown with some moves in the lane.
Might have got away with a push-off there.
Yeah. Fitzpatrick lost the basketball, but it will stay with El Camino Compton.
By the way, I like that it's Derek Harper, and I like that we have to differentiate because there's Derek Harper of the 80s and Derek Harper of the 90s.
That is true.
Really. Is it Mavericks or Knicks? Which Derek Harper are we talking about here?
I think the Knicks. I think the Pat Riley Knicks.
Yeah.
So Fitzpatrick now against Wami. Cross court to Brown. Down and deep, but tipped away by Williams. And a nice steal.
Oh, great hustle.
Great hustle there by Williams. And getting the possession for ELAC again.
That's right. Henderson's got that very wide frame, and it's not easy to get around him and to make that play and get the ball off of Henderson and get it back for the Huskies. Big-time play.
So Fuller trying to get something in his favor. And a hip check on Javion Brown.
That's a nice job by Fuller, too, selling that a little bit. You can see the contact there, and if you feel that contact, little kind of shimmy there, and I think that helps draw the whistle.
That's why they call it playing the game within the game. So Fuller at the line, 75% free throw shooting, 1-1, and makes the first one. So 20-14. Largest lead was 9 up to this current point. A couple of steals by Henderson, but they didn't lead the point, so that's why you're still at 6 now. What could have been possibly even 15 points if you're the Tartars. So Fuller with one more, has his first points tonight. Did not score last week, so a bit of a good sign him upward-wise.
And there's danger here Jay, for the Tartars in this matchup. We watched East Los Angeles College playing against Pasadena in a very tight back-and-forth first half, and then they absolutely shot the lights out in the second half and ended up blowing that game open. And the Tartars are taking a risk here. It's been kind of an ugly first half for the Huskies, but if they get hot from long range, they could take control very quickly in this matchup.
Right, because 3 is always better than 2. So House into Shavers. He was bumped and won.
That's great strength. Shavers with the finish.
So that's his strength, going to the rim. They call him a slasher in basketball terms, and you saw that pass there, why he is.
That's a great recognition passing out of the double team, too. I believe it was Brown on the far side, or might have been House on the far side, as I think back on the play. But trapped in the corner, but kept his composure and ends up finding Shavers in the lane.
So Shavers looking for his 5th point tonight. Had a great pass from Fitzpatrick at the high post earlier in the first half. I mean, he was wide open for at least a half a day, Jeff. It was like, wow. Free throw missed over to Walker. And his recovery by Fuller. Another dangerous pass there by Walker. Williams to Wami. Fuller right seam. So under 8 to go. Williams on the drive to his left. Easy crease and lay it in.
All the way to the rim, and nobody stops him.
So that's his first field goal attempt and bucket for Williams. So 22-17 for Alonzo Taylor. Nice look down and deep. Too easy.
That's pick and roll to perfection right there, working with Fitzpatrick.
So timeout calls, 7:15 to go in the first half. ELAC down by 7 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. And we're back inside El Camino Compton Center with Jeff Stoynoff. ELAC versus El Camino Compton. Bring back in Frank Burtz for ELAC. Fuller into Williams. Right baseline. The leaner's up and good for Roderick Williams. 2 straight baskets for him.
Jay, that's a great job of attacking the trap there. They get it to Fuller in the high post, and from there, it's an odd man rush. They end up getting it to Williams.
So the lead down to 5 for the Tartars. Into Henderson, wow pass, but a lucky break for Taylor. Jumper is blocked by Burtz. Over to Fuller. 2-on-2 basketball. Over to Walker. Walker, a long 3 up in the air. It's good.
Got to locate your shooters in transition. Walker finds his way to an open spot on the floor and knocks down the tray.
So he's now 1 for 5 from downtown. Suicide steal, no good for Williams. Open jump shot just coming out by Shavers, and the ball will go to ELAC.
Well, we talked about it a little bit last week. For all the accolades at the top, all the statistical categories where the Tartars ranked near the top, three-point shooting, not one of them. They actually knocked down a few shots. That really bedeviled Ventura, but you might be able to take some chances here if you can force them into shots from long range, if you're East Los Angeles.
And also, what does help is a friendly crowd behind you. A decent crowd for ELAC. A long shot by Burtz, no good. Off the back iron, over to Brown. So Brown, nice look away, and Shavers laid up and in. So the one thing you have to do is always get back against this El Camino Compton team because they will score quickly.
I'll tell you another thing that El Camino Compton Center does so well, Jade. I'm so impressed. They make cuts without the ball, and they get to the front of the rim. I can't tell you how many great feeds we've seen like that from Brown to wide open players right under the basket.
So a heat check by Walker wasn't close. Over to Lake back in the ball game. He was fouled going to the rim.
It's a good hard rush there on Curtis. Little choice but to foul and send him to the line.
So Lake is trying to get something going. He had a In the first 5 minutes, he was a little bit frustrated with his play. Now he's somewhat calming down. Now he gets 2 free throws. So Lake, first free throw, just got the front of the rim. So bring in Zayzadi in for the Huskies. So 26-22. One more for Lake, and the lefty makes 1 or 2. So left side for Fitzpatrick. Back in the ball game also is Davis for Camino Compton. Shavers had a steal by Walker. Walker, and got stolen back by Davis. Brown into Fitzpatrick, and was tipped away by Lake. Tipped again by Fuller. Third try up in the air, no. Fourth try, Curtis fouled. So the one thing, if you're the Huskies, you have to box out.
Yeah, Walker does a great job getting the steal there. When he went down to the floor, I thought and I wanted to see him go to the timeout there, see if he could get the timeout.
I was waiting for that too, but he didn't get it, I guess.
Instead, and I think from the sideline you can make that call too, but no one from the East Los Angeles sideline wanted the timeout there either, I don't think. And in the end, he gives it back up, and then it's great effort by the Tartars there keeping that ball alive, eventually getting Curtis to the line.
So in, getting some height for Coach Mosley. Free throw missed there by Curtis. Jermaine Small Camacho hasn't played in over a month. So I guess when desperate times call it desperate measures, go deep to your bench to get, an extra spark. And also, you have more fouls with Camacho in the ball game.
Well, also in looking, it's also they're going a little bit bigger, which is interesting. We saw the Pirates last week in the matchup consistently going smaller, trying to match up. Looks like Coach Mosley taking a slightly different tack, maybe get a little bit bigger lineup on the floor, see if that bothers the Tartars.
But luckily, they have a little bit more speed than the bigs of Ventura does, so it kind of bounces out. So 27-23, 1 of 2 there. Left side for Zayzadi. Walker likes that long 3. Zayzadi for 3, no, off the back heel. Over to House, recovered by Brown. Brown, the lob to Curtis. In the lane, stuffed by Lake, but a foul, or they call a jump ball. Be a jump ball.
The jump ball. I'm going to say Lake got all ball.
So a good meeting at the rim by Zeno Lake.
Couple of rejections in the last minute here for Zeno Lake, starting to assert himself defensively.
So when your offense ain't there, your defense should always be consistent.
And that's to the point that you were just making. This is a different matchup for the Tartars. A little more size, a little more athleticism down low, and the Tartars not having quite an easy time, scoring point blank in this matchup.
Tipped away there by Shavers. It's just unique to see how you have a mid-game adjustment with a taller lineup with Camacho at 6'7". Reddick's back in the ball game. Has not made a basket yet. Give credit to House and Davis with making him be somewhat frustrated with his shot.
Reddick, I think, is one of those guys also, as I've watched him a couple times this year, very dangerous because he's very disciplined and not a guy who's prone to really get frustrated. He'll be very quiet, tends to make the right play every time he has the ball. And then if you leave him alone or he finds himself open, that's when he can take the shot, knock it down. And he's willing to wait for that moment.
So he gets 2 free throws there because that's a team foul number 10 for the Tartars.
Guys like that so dangerous. You just can't take your eyes off him for a second.
But they had a lucky break because he was open. I mean, wide open, but he missed a short. I think he kind of rushed it.
Yep.
So Reddick's with one more and missed that one. So a couple of missed shots for the Huskies over the Shavers. Around a couple of Huskies, and he was fouled on the dribble.
Ordinarily, Jay, in this type of situation, I would say that the longer that the road team, East Los Angeles, can stay in this game, the better it is for them. But I think with the Tartars playing for so much here and an opportunity to really break through and make it to Las Positas and what that would mean for this program, I think it's the Tartars that need to relax. And ironically, I think it's the home team that the longer they can kind of hang around, stay in the game, maybe finally get relaxed and get themselves into the game, the better off they're going to be.
Right. Another new addition into the program for the Huskies. Jalen Gilmore in for the first time, and a one-on-one, no good, missed by Shavers. Reddick's around House and Davis. Camacho left block. Back up top for Williams. It's under 5 to go. Only a 3-point ball game. ELAC still in this one. Slow start, but a good recovery. Williams, Zayzadi. Camacho with 4 to shoot. Reddix with 3, with 2, with 1. A leader up in the air, no. And a shot clock violation.
Zayzadi after the shot clock. It's a tough break for East Los Angeles. That shot gets up there 1 second earlier. Zayzadi's in perfect position. He's got the easy follow.
And that give credit once again to the Tars making a bad shot go up in the air and not get the rim for Reddix. So over to Brown against Gilmore, making him on skates without the ice skating shoes on, behind his back. Should have been a palming call, no call. Over to Davis, laid in.
And I got to tell you, Jay, if I'm Keith Higgins watching this game here for the last few minutes, and I'm talking to my team, I'm saying just keep playing defense and keep rebounding like there's no tomorrow, and the rest will take care of itself.
Zayzadi all the way, tipped by Curtis with the rejection. Brown should have been kick ball, but no call.
Wide open now.
Williams with the jam. That might have got him up a little bit there for ELAC. A little bit of a lamb swing. 29-26. So 8 points for Williams. So slowly getting himself involved in the offense for Coach John Mosley. Curtis, top of the key. Pull up Jay from 17 feet. Just come off the rim to Camacho.
I think if you're the Huskies, you can live with that shot all day.
So Williams had his steam. Runs right into Curtis. And a foul on Curtis. So a lucky break for Williams.
Yeah, I like that call. I thought Curtis was well established in his position, but I also thought that Williams did a good job of getting around him. And there really wasn't a lot of contact there, and I think a charge would have been a misplaced call.
So 2 more free throws for Roderick Williams. This will be his 7th and 8th attempts tonight. He's made about half of them up to this current point. Surprised a lot of misses early on for the Huskies. Free throw good there for Williams.
It's a powerfully bad sign for the Tartars. As this is a Husky team that can go on a run, but that exists the other way as well.
Right.
Obviously, the Tartars can be a little more efficient, I think, offensively than we've seen here in this first half.
And I think the key is who has the first run and who can maintain the run will probably get the win. So 1 more for Williams. He's 1 of 2 again. Over to Fitzpatrick. Around Wami, into the post, layup missed, but a foul on the attempt was Shavers. Looks to be on Wami, and maybe a second. So it will be Wami's second.
Well, nobody's picking up the ball as Fitzpatrick breaks the press, ultimately gets into the lane before a green jersey gets on him. That creates a lane for Shavers, who gets himself to the front of the rim and now to the line.
So now both teams now in a bonus with 10 personal fouls. So free throws 2 of 2 all the way for the next 2:37. 1 of 2 there for Shavers. So bring back in Alonzo Taylor for Calvin House, who we called him Eddie House last week.
you gotta bring it back to that. Although anytime I get to mention Kevin House again,
yeah,
I mean, it's,
that too. That
it's
is your homeboy. So 2 of 2 for Shavers.
Come on. An 80s football guy playing football in the NFC Central from a guy from Chicago? Of course I remember it.
Oh, yeah, you should. It's like in your blood almost. So 31-27 into Wami. Nice spin move, and a drop step is pretty. Timo Wami.
Again, good job attacking the trap. Getting it down to Wami before the Tartars can really get set.
So they're now trying to break down the bigs without Henderson on the floor. That's room to operate. Shavers, a wild pass recovered by Fitzpatrick, squeezing in, and the shot no good, but got his own rebound.
Boy, Fitzpatrick is such a load down low.
So 33-29 for Williams. He's somewhat point forward for this second unit. Over to Gilmore to his right. So back to the zone, into Walker. Thought about it. Now the burst for a 3. Right side of the 3 is good.
Get it inside to Walker, back outside, and the open 3 goes down for the Huskies.
And that's how you break the zone. Get in the high post and bring it right back out for a drive and kick.
Terrific execution offensively on the last couple of trips down for the Huskies.
Tipped away by Birch, so keep it with the Tartars. Back in Camacho, giving Williams a breather. And that's the one, because when you have depth, it gives your star players a little bit of chance to just take a little deep breath every once in a while in a high-pressure game like this one. Over to Shavers. Left block for Fitzpatrick. Nice spin move on the right side. Off the window is good. The bank's always open for Anthony Fitzpatrick.
Man, there is just not much you can do against a move like that. They even ran a double team at him, and Fitzpatrick was able to double pump and get it home.
Sometimes you just hope and pray he misses. Under a minute for Jalen Gilmore, and in between the legs of Wami to Curtis. And a steal by Walker. Lefty layup and one.
What a play by Walker. How about the finish?
So once again, turnovers by the Tartars leads to another bucket for the Huskies.
Yeah, for Compton Center, a little bit of a taste of their own medicine there as Walker jumps the pass in the backcourt, gets the steal. And now an opportunity to tie it up.
So Walker try to tie that game at 35.
I'll tell you, if these teams get going in the second half, we might have a classic here, Jay. This is a pretty enticing matchup here between two teams I think have a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
More that unites them than divides them, I think, in this matchup.
Very nice phrasing, Jeff.
There's a possibility I borrowed that from somebody else. I'd have to look it up, but
well,
feels familiar.
It was a good paraphrase of that. Job well done. 35-35, 38 seconds left for Alonzo Taylor back in the ball game. Off the flare screen to his left and threw it away.
Well, that's a tough pass for Taylor, but I have to tell you, watching this team, I don't exactly like Fitzpatrick 20 feet outside either. He's so difficult to deal with working down low. It's not really where I want to be getting him the ball anyway.
Right. Or at least when I pick and roll, but he didn't roll. He just picked and popped.
Yep.
He's not really a jump shooter anyway. So a lot of head scratching there if you're Compton Center. So Gilmore getting a lot of burn. Giving Rags a bit of a breather. The rough first half. Only 2 points coming up from the free throw line. Into Wami, a crease. He was fouled on a drive. And it'll be free throws for Chima Wami.
Yeah, this is going to be against Curtis, and might have got him with the lower body. Not a whole lot of contact there. But an opportunity here for East Los Angeles to maybe take the lead here going into the locker room.
But they do have Wami shooting free throws. Not the best guy you want shooting free throws.
Okay. Not a great opportunity to take the lead going into the locker room. But it's still there.
Yeah, it's there. I mean, you don't want to foul a guy, but if you have to, you should foul Wami if you're the Tartars.
Yeah.
So he missed the first one, and the second one is good. So they get the lead with Chima Wami 36-35. So Williams back in for Wami.
Taking a look at Javon Brown over on the far side, and he's had a quiet first half.
Had a couple of nice dimes. Down in deep to Shavers. Curtis with 5, with 3 for Brown. Long three is good. And there's your halftime score, 38-36. El Camino Compton Center. When we come back on SoCal College Sports, we'll give you some halftime stats and some scores around the 3C2A on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
And remember, everybody, to join us next weekend, March 9th through the 12th, as we bring you the 3C2A Men's and Women's Basketball Championship live from Las Positas College. You can catch the games, all of the games for the championships, on our YouTube channel, SoCal College Sports 1, or on our website, www.socalcollegesports.com.
All right, so we're back for halftime. 38-36, Compton Center over ELAC. Jay High with Jeff Stoynoff. And Jeff, it's been a back-and-forth ball game in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And just as you would expect with a trip to Las Positas on the line here, we're down to 8 in the South and no pretenders left at this point. And obviously, we talked about we'll be checking in to see if we can get some scores from the other games. But a lot on the line. Two very evenly matched teams here. Two teams also that come in playing exceptionally well, as you would expect. So I don't think anybody's going anywhere here. I think we're going down to the final few minutes here before it's all said and done.
Yeah, the one key stat that's a good sign for ELAC is points in the paint. They have 14. Yes, Compton has 26, but that's expected because they get so many points per game in the paint. But at least having somewhat, you're in the ballpark. You're not getting dramatically outscored by a margin of maybe 20 points or less. So it's a good sign to have for them. Slow start for Williams. He has 12 points in the first half, 4 or 5 from the field, 4 or 6 from the free throw line. Chandler Reddick's not the most ideal first half for him. Only 1 free throw made.
Yeah, just 1 point for Reddick's and 4 turnovers. He's clearly been bothered by the pressure defense. We'll have to wait and see if he makes an adjustment in the second half. But they are getting some nice work from Saquon Walker, Frank Burtz, each chipping in with 8 points. Meanwhile, for Compton Center, 10 points for Chavez, 10 points for Anthony Fitzpatrick. And on the other side, the Reddick story for Compton Center, Javon Brown, just 3 of 9 from the floor, 1 of 4 from long range. That was a big 3 he hit on the final seconds of that first half. Finishes with 7 points. But obviously, I think Reddick and Brown going to be key players here in the second half for their respective teams. And I think the guy that can get back to his game a little more effectively here in the second half, that ultimately might be the difference.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's – I mentioned, I think I said it last week, whoever makes the least amount of mistakes in the second half will probably win the game.
Yeah, it's a pretty good rule of thumb, I think, in basketball in general.
I mean, it's something.
It's, when it gets down to the wire, absolutely.
It's not rocket science. It's just, just how to play your game against a very good opponent in a hostile environment or in your home gym.
Yep, it's the kind of thing that coaches go gray trying to explain to their players, though. It's as straightforward as it would seem.
Right.
One other key stat I think worth mentioning and one to keep an eye on in the second half is the rebounding story. 22-19, Compton Center, just a 3-rebound advantage. Certainly they're accustomed to having a little more of an advantage there. They have gotten on the boards for 10 offensive rebounds. That's been a key for them in the first half. But, again, for ELAC, if you're looking for good news, if they can keep that trend, maybe do a better job of keeping the Tartars off the offensive glass, they could be in a position here to get this one on the road, maybe get themselves to Las Positas.
And they slowed down. Dejon Harrison only had 4 points, but he did have 5 boards, but he's forced a couple of turnovers on defense. So when we come back, second half action between El Camino Compton Center against the ELAC Huskies. Close ball game, 38-36 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. So back inside the Tartar Gym, with Jeff Stoynoff. The winner goes to Las Positas for the 3C 2A state tournament. Close ball game, 38-36.
Elsewhere, in the men's bracket, San Diego at home taking on Riverside, and San Diego up 22 at halftime, 59-37. So San Diego continuing their impressive run.
Davis into Fitzpatrick off the first possession. Laid up and in.
No rotation there on Fitzpatrick, and he's able to get clear to the backboard and lay it in.
So Reddix will be called for traveling.
That's the 5th turnover for Reddix. And, you know, right now I think, Jay, Reddix is just not reacting quickly enough to the trap. They get the successful trap on there, lowers the shoulder a little bit, ends up shuffling his feet. They could have called either one on him right there.
I don't think he's used to the trap by a team such as this one. So in Davis, Brown only had 4 points, had a key 3-pointer as the first half was getting ready to expire. House, Henderson into Fitzpatrick, and somewhat of a cape-like grab from Lake in the back.
That's not a terrible grab there by Lake to take that foul. Fitzpatrick had really beaten him backdoor and was going to have an easy finish, and Lake instead elects to take the foul there.
Might be a fan of comic books, I think, in his spare time. So over to Javion Brown.
Elsewhere, the top seed in the South, Fullerton, a 44-32 lead at home against Chaffee. Very dangerous Chaffee team year after year. But Perry Webster and his Fullerton College Hornets taking care of business so far.
Yeah, Chaffee gave an earlier loss to Elac early in the season. Long shot by Brown. Second try by Fitzpatrick, no. And out of bounds to Elac's. Lucky break there for the Huskies. Can't get a layup down and deep.
That's a great contest by Lake as they get the switch, but Fitzpatrick on the other side of that switch ends up getting inside position. Meanwhile, Fitzpatrick still down. It looks like he's holding his back, and they're taking a look at him. And this is a major development, obviously, in this game if Fitzpatrick were to be unavailable for any length of time here in the second half.
Yeah, he had 6 rebounds, 4 of them offensively.
He is getting to his feet.
So a good sign for El Camino Compton bringing Chavers for Fitzpatrick.
And, you know, Jay, he's 19, so, you know, he'll be back in like 2 minutes. I'd be in traction, you know, over on the sidelines after I fell down. But, you know, I expect to see Anthony Fitzpatrick at, you know, about the 18-minute mark, I would say.
Sorry to make you feel bad, Jeff. I'm bringing up bad memories
I'm used to it in our coverage here.
Okay.
I got it.
All right. Williams in the Lake with the stuff, no good. Second try, no. Third try, no. Fourth try, no. And he got fouled.
Well, Henderson backs off there, does a nice job not committing the foul, but then doesn't get back on the play. Ends up catching a break there that Lake was unable to hit point blank on a couple of tries.
But if you're Lake, you have to make it at least on a second try. It took, I think, 5 shots, but makes the first free throw. So all is not lost yet for Zeno Lake. 40-37, just a minute 12 old in the second half.
The last matchup on the men's side, Citrus hosting Antelope Valley, a couple of Cinderella teams there, and it's Citrus with a 3-point lead at the break.
So Chavers with the move, and off of Henderson, went out of bounds on the carom. So ball back. So once again, another shot in deep.
Yeah, Chavers with a good look there, and I think, Jay, both teams just hurrying it a little bit, sensing the athleticism of the other team.
And it looks just like last week against Ventura with the rush shots, rags over the Birds. Nice cross pass to Walker, laid up and in. Nice move by Sakan Walker.
Still don't like the way that Reddix is trying to attack this trap too much off the dribble. I think he caught a little bit of a break there, and a great job by the Huskies finishing it from there.
So only a 1-point lead for the Tartars, and a
great
steal by Birds. Birds would head his team all the way, laid up and in. They lead now 41-40. So on their second lead when they led and when it was 36-35 after a 3-point play by Walker, now guarding Davis. So high out for Henderson and lost it to Walker. Another steal for Elac. Over to Williams. Williams all the way. Layup good!
It's a great finish. And it's Chavers who commits the foul. Instead of letting Williams go, a little push in the back and give Williams a lot of credit, able to get the finish.
So 14 points for Roderick Williams. And as you mentioned earlier, Jeff, about Fitzpatrick, he's now back in. So I guess the young bones are all right for now.
So to be 18 or 19 again.
It's not a bad life, huh? So a 7-0 run, 7-2 run by the Huskies. Williams now with 14 points, leading all scorers, now make it 15.
We alluded to this in the first half. The Huskies every bit as capable as Compton Center of making a big run in a game.
Biggest lead for them, up by 4. House into Fitzpatrick. He was mugged by Williams.
Yeah, I think Williams there goes to the ball, and I'm not sure what he was thinking after that as he kind of kept up with the contact and ends up, fouling the heck out of Fitzpatrick there.
I think he was trying to make his physical presence known.
Yeah, maybe he's testing that back a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, see how your backs feel after that one. Back in Alonzo Taylor for El Camino Compton. Brown looking for Henderson on the back screen, not there. Shavers pitching his shoot in a corner. Brown off the pump fake to his right, driving the lane. Down in deep, Henderson laid up and in. Off the window. So the biggest lead for Elac now down to 2, and
well, Henderson there swats that one away, and that gets the crowd into it. But if anything, that's probably a little bit of a break for Elac. Williams wasn't ready for the alley-oop, and I think that play was going nowhere. Instead, Henderson fires it out of bounds, and now the Huskies can reset.
So Birch throwing it in. Running from his teammates. Dangerous pass covered by Walker. Regs open for 3, right wing. 3, no. Off the backboard. Another shot for Regs. He was open, just couldn't convert.
Yeah, that one was online, just back iron. Pretty good look from Reddix.
But if you're a shooter, the motto is you just keep shooting until you get one shot to go in.
Yeah, I think he's got the permanent green light.
So right side for Shavers. Couple of nice buckets in the first half. Fitzpatrick on the baseline.
Stepped on the baseline.
Stepped out of bounds. So the ball back to Elac. Good defense there by Roderick Williams.
Yeah, Williams might be one of the only guys on the floor right now that really can match up with Anthony Fitzpatrick.
So making him work hard for his money tonight is Williams against Fitzpatrick.
Oh, it's a dangerous pass.
Recovered by Brown on the steal. High shot tipped by Lake with the alteration. Over to Taylor, little jump shot in the lane, outside the lane, good. So 44 all. After a couple of steals by the Tartar guards. Walker wide open 3. No. Tipped by Rex, but he was fouled on the putback.
Well, that's a good job by Reddix hitting the offensive glass. Henderson vacates the lane. He has to come out and challenge the shot by Walker. Opens it up for Reddix working down low, gets the follow. Almost had 3 there.
So getting back to your Chicago days, Jeff, I know you're a big fan of Doug Collins. You also say when you're struggling, get to the free throw line, get the ball, see the ball going into the rim.
Yeah.
So you'll see Reddix getting 2 here. First one goes down for him.
Yeah, Mike and I talk about that a lot in our coverage. When shots aren't falling, get something going to the basket. At least a couple things can go right if you're going at the basket.
Or at least shoot closer, not shoot farther back.
Yep.
So 2 of 2 for Reddix. Bring back in Wami. He'll come in for Lake. So 46-44. So Elac now in the lead for more than half a minute.
Well, interesting now, Williams will switch over and guard Henderson. And they'll have Wami on Fitzpatrick.
So look for them try to go against Williams, who gives some size for Henderson. Over to Shavers, a nice little flip up and in. Michael Shavers. Tied back at 46. Reddix with a crease, layup up and good.
Well, just as you were talking about, Reddix maybe growing in confidence a little bit, gets a couple at the line, now gets a layup.
Now has 5 points. 48-46 now. Shavers didn't want the 3-pointer that was given to him by Wami. Taylor now open showers for 3, right side, no good. Rebound to Walker. So Walker over to Birch, left side 3, no. Fitzpatrick. So a lot of back and forth 3-pointers from both sides. Fitzpatrick against Wami, down in the paint, swatted by Birch. Walker the other way. Still going. Walker, no. To Henderson. Henderson looking. Lost to Williams.
I got to tell you, Jay, there's an awful lot of contact here, and I think the officials are letting them play on both sides, but give them a lot of credit. I think they're being very consistent about that.
Yeah, so nice job by Eddie Shannon, Craig Hunt, Javier Zavala.
Yeah, a lot on the line here, and I think that's what you would prefer if you're going to, go on one side, calling it tight, letting them play a little bit with a lot on the line. I imagine if you ask the players and say, let's play here a little bit.
Right. At least have it equal balanced of tight play. You don't want the Knicks on one side, then you have the Showtime Lakers or finesse the other way around. So at least have both sides of, I don't want to say rugged basketball, but, a little bit of contact here and there. Fuller back in the ball game for ELAC. Davis to Taylor. Curtis back in as well for Henderson. Brown still with a quiet afternoon. Off the pump fake. Back to Brown. 10 to shoot for El Camino Compton. Down into the paint. Davis, the flip is good.
That's a great high screen by Curtis, freeing up Brown, who eventually finds the cutter.
Down in deep to Fuller with the layup. So heads up play. Got the Tartar sleep in the house. Lost it to Reddix. 3-on-1. Williams all alone. Another jam. Timeout called by Compton Center. 52-48. This episode on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
Their offensive sets. Right now, I think, Jay, they're just being a little careless with the basketball.
Right.
I don't think this is a systematic type of situation where they're running into a problem there. I just think a very fast, very athletic team is giving them some trouble, and they're being a little bit careless.
Somewhat of a taste of your own medicine, just in a different color scheme of uniform.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is not the type of team that they see very often en route to winning their conference.
And
they did have a matchup against a team like Chaffee, maybe is a little bit similar in a similar vein, and they went 2-1, but they did lose once to Chaffee. So this kind of style has produced at least one of their losses before.
But the key in that Chaffee loss for ELAC, it was a guard play that was killing. Brian Beard had 30 points.
Yep.
Brown only has 4.
Yep.
So we'll see who comes to the occasion for Compton Center.
Well, and it's something I talked about in the first half. If you're a team like El Camino Compton Center, and I'm on that sideline, I'm saying play defense, rebound the basketball. Don't worry about the rest. That'll come.
Fuller to Birch. Here we set to Fuller again. A nice lift off the bench for John Mosley. Someone replacing Reddix on the sideline. Had a rough afternoon and evening up to this point. So back to a 3-2 zone for Coach Higgins. Not happy with his team at the moment. They're down by 6. Inawami. Off the glass, good. 8, make a 10-0 run for the Huskies.
I think Fitzpatrick, they're very careful not wanting to pick up the foul, and Wami ends up getting a good look.
So Wami, second field goal made tonight.
You got to contest that passing lane a little bit better.
And another bad pass by Compton Center.
Yeah, here comes Chavers, who's been a bright spot here tonight, along with Henderson for Compton Center. And they've clearly been taken out of their game here, Jay. I think it's safe to say that.
Now, if I can count correctly, that's the 6th straight turnover by the Tartars.
Yeah. And it was ELAC that had 11 in the first half to just 6. But El Camino Compton Center doing the best they can to even up that number before it's all said and done.
It's nice that you want to be high in that category. So Walker playing hot potato with Fuller. Williams, top of the key. Not a three-point shooter by any means. High pass recovered by Fuller. 5 to shoot for the Huskies. Birch for a long 3, shanked it. Tipped and recovered by Chavers. So Shavers now with the possession. Driving and slowing it back up for Brown. Back to Shavers, to his right, to Henderson. Henderson, the wild flip, no. Fitzpatrick, another rebound, fouled, going to the rim, and he'll get 2 free throws.
Yeah, he's just really having his way down low, working against Burt's, where I think he's got a real strength advantage.
And he's not very tall, but he has a good knack of finding the basketball at the rim.
Yeah, a terrific nose for the ball. I think one of the things, the Huskies have made a nice adjustment here to something that we've talked about, and that is they're stepping back off those long shots, and they're essentially saying to the Tartars, you can take that shot from outside if you want it, and that's making it very difficult for the Tartars to slash and pass, which they do so well. A lot of hands in the passing lanes, and I think that's part of why we're seeing so many turnovers.
So Lake and Reddick's back in, and that's a good point there, Jeff. I think making them make jump shots would then release someone going to the rim. So 2 free throws missed there by Fitzpatrick. Still an 8-point ball game for the Huskies on top. Going from left to right. Fuller swarmed by House, and an offensive foul is called on Robert Fuller.
Yeah, I think what hurts Fuller on that call there is not so much that he threw an elbow, but the elbow was a little bit high, and I think that drew the whistle. It was up near the face of House, and I think more often than not, elbow or not, you're going to see a call when it's that region of the body.
So a timeout call with 12:16 to go in the second half. ELAC up 56-4 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. For ELAC, trying to get the big win on the road. Reddick's all the way. Wami's dunk attempt was missed, but he was fouled by Shavers.
Yeah, Reddick's does a great job drawing the defense to him. That opens things up for Wami, who will head to the line.
And getting back to the similar teams, you're now seeing ELAC going hard to the rim, gaining a defense for the Tartars.
Well, once you extend the defense, you want to bring them out and then attack the rim, slash to the rim. And Reddick's clearly picking up in confidence here in the second half, and it gets back to something we talked about at the half. Javon Brown, and Reddick's, which one was going to step up in the second half, get back to what they do typically. And so far, I think it's Reddick's here, and that's leading to East Los Angeles having the lead here.
And it's not really with the three-point shooting. It's just been getting to a decent crease to the basket.
Yep.
With someone either helping or someone going for a suicide steal. That's been to the points in the paint for the Huskies. Free throw good by Wami.
Tell you, unsung hero here of this game as I watch. Keep an eye on Fuller. Great job. He's matching up with Javon Brown, and I think he's really bothering him, and his energy has been key.
So Davis back in for Shavers. So it's Brown, House, Davis, Henderson, and Fitzpatrick for Compton Center. Walker, Fuller, Reddick's, Wami, and Lake. Javon Brown just past the center circle. Still a quiet game for him. High post Fitzpatrick. Pull up Jay from 15 feet, short, over to Wami.
Not the shot you want if you're Compton Center.
So one and done for El Camino Compton Center for Robert Fuller. So Walker will lead to Reddick's on the left sideline. Walker with a mismatch. Somewhat in his favor. 7 to shoot with some dancing behind his back, doing some more to Reddick's with 3, with 2. A wild shot with 1, no, to Henderson. Up the court now for Davis, laid up and in.
Well, Reddick's took a pretty big hit from Henderson, no call. They're going to say that Henderson was stationary.
So Reddick's with the lob to Lake for the jam.
But right back in the lane. You got to like Reddick's going right back to it.
Lead back to 7. Back for a House for 3, short.
If you're thinking about the 3, it's really Taylor and Brown are the primary three-point shooters for Compton Center. Obviously, you don't need that in terms of the scoreboard, but as this game breaks down, Taylor and Brown most likely to be able to hit some shots from long range.
So Gilmore replaces Fuller. Williams for Wami. On that little exchange between Walker and Henderson, it was a nice little Nice defense from Henderson led to a layup. But they didn't get back again on defense. Where's Compton Center, and led to another basket for the Huskies. Still up by 8. 10 minutes remaining in the second half. The winner goes to Las Positas. Greg's jumper from the right side of Camino to Lake. The offensive rebound stripped away by Fitzpatrick. 2-on-2 basketball, threw it away.
Oh, another turnover here in the second half. You know, Lake does great work on the offensive glass, but then goes right back into the teeth of the defense. And I think the way right now that East Los Angeles is able to execute working the ball outside, I wouldn't mind seeing them kick that back out, run another set.
I agree. Or shoot the ball.
You could do that. Yet another option.
Gilmore tipped, recovered by Fuller. Back in the ball game. Fuller. Gilmore open for 3. No. Tipped by Williams, recovered by Roderick. The second try, no good. Now recovered by Brown, hit in the face by Williams inadvertently.
Okay, official's going to talk it over here. What's the call? Yeah, they're going to catch Williams.
Yes, the call overruled by Craig Hunt there. So they get the foul on Williams.
I got to believe that if the other guy gets hit in the face, you're going to have a hard time winning that argument as the defensive player.
Right.
I know you're going to ask for something, but when there's tangible evidence of your contact left behind.
And he was trying to say in a nice way, cut your nails. Because some nails can be a bit deadly. I've witnessed that on a personal end. Brown against Fuller, a tough shot, well short, tipped by Davis to Gilmore with a 3-on-1 break. Williams trailing all the way with the dunk. Woo!
Williams, the trailer.
So
he's having himself a dunk-a-thon here tonight. That's about the 4th one for Williams that we've seen.
So Roderick Williams with a dunk fest. 62-52, largest lead for the Huskies tonight, 10.
He's winning his own personal slam dunk contest here tonight, I think.
I think he may have helped the All-Star break in it for the NBA with his dunks tonight.
He's certainly got the most in terms of volume. He's got to have the most points that way.
So Devontae Davis around Reddix. Tough shot in the lane. Henderson with the rebound and off of Henderson. Momentum now going from Compton Center now to ELAC in control in the second half.
And the Huskies just packing it in. There's a turnover in the backcourt on Fuller.
Yep. So a walk before the errant throw.
But they're really just packing it in defensively.
So Walker
daring Compton Center to hit a shot from outside, and until they do, I think it's going to be advantage Huskies on the defensive end.
Walker in for Fuller. Devontae Davis, been a quiet game for him. 1 for 3 from the field, only 2 points. Henderson against Williams, backing him down. In the lane, fouled by Williams.
Yeah, I think Henderson, who's been playing very well of late, averaging 17 and 10 over the last 5 games, needs to assert himself more down the stretch here. I think he is a very difficult matchup. The play that we just saw there, I don't think there's a whole lot that East Los Angeles can do to stop that play. But now he's got to hit the free throws.
But the one concern, though, if you're ELAC, that's a 3rd foul on Williams.
Yeah.
So you have to keep his fouls under control in the last 9:05 to go in the game.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup having him matched up with Henderson. We'll see if Coach Mosley makes a switch.
We did see Camacho in the first half, nothing yet in the second half. So Henderson, his first tries from the strike tonight. First one up and gets the entire rim, but it goes.
Curtis returning for Compton Center, replacing Devontae Davis.
So not what the home crowd expected. A 9-point deficit in their home gym against a 10-seed Huskies, but the Huskies have done a nice job of getting turnovers and easy buckets the other way and forcing jump shots for Compton Center.
You know, frankly, Jay, in this game, I think the difference so far is pretty similar teams, but so far I think East Los Angeles has shown themselves to be a little more versatile, and that's really telling the story.
So they're trying to get a inadvertent wet spot over Brown and Wamiar area. It's been a very high, intense game up to this point. Very high-paced.
You have to expect
somewhat
that.
sporadic at times, but that's how both teams play, so you have to be somewhat proceed with caution with that in mind. But some of the key players have not had good nights. So a good defense by both sides, slowing down Henderson and Reddix. But you're seeing the others for ELAC stepping up big with Gilmore and Fuller. Free throw good for Henderson. So he gets 2 of 2. So full-court press once again by El Camino Compton Center, and a steal by Fitzpatrick. Off the pressure. So going to his left. Recovers to Brown. He almost walked with it. Henderson. His 2 free throws against Harris, now in the ball game. Henderson, the Tennessee State commit.
Well, I think if you're Henderson and you're your El Camino Compton Center, I don't know if you really like that play starting about 21 feet out with the ball in Henderson's hands. Granted, he does have the versatility to handle the basketball, but I'd like to see Henderson start a little bit closer to the basket.
So the 8th team foul, so 1-1 for Dejian. Unique story for him. It's his 3rd JC program in 2 seasons. Went to West LA, then LA Trade Tech, and now Compton Center. First free throw missed to Wami. So Gilmore. Tipped by House and stolen away by Calvin House. All the way, layup missed badly.
That's a good job by Gilmore after turning it over to at least get back on defense and contest that shot.
Around 2 defenders. Gets the layup to go. Another timeout called. 8:19 remaining in the game. 54-64 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Ten-point lead for the ELAC Huskies, the pride of East Los Angeles. Compton Center with some work to do in the final 8:18 remaining. It'll be Brown, Curtis, House, Fitzpatrick, and Henderson. Brown to Fitzpatrick. Driving the lane, a scoop pass. Out top for Brown. Back for Fitzpatrick for a long 3 is good. So a surprise shot by Fitzpatrick from downtown. 57-64.
Yeah, I think if you're East Los Angeles College, again, if they can knock down that shot, you're willing to live with them taking it.
So over to Walker, now to Burtz. Behind his back. So Walker to his right. Pull up Jay from 20 feet. Good. So 66-57.
Walker answers Fitzpatrick.
So Brown trying to get something going in his favor. It gives to Henderson. Nice spin move off the glass. Good.
And again, Henderson, always a matchup problem. We'll see if Compton Center keeps going to him.
So Fuller just almost out of bounds for Walker on the left side. Walker with a crease, the drive, the shot, no.
That's a great job by Henderson defensively, challenging that shot but not bringing the arm down. Good no call. Gets the ball back for Compton Center.
So a ticky-tack foul there on Wami. So Williams will come in, and also Lake. Davis and Shavers will come in for Compton Center. Also Reddix for Walker. Free throws for Fitzpatrick. Team foul number 9 on East Los Angeles. So Anthony Fitzpatrick trying to keep his team close. First shot made from downtown. That free throw no good. Over to Reddix. Fuller. Birch bobbled it and threw it away to Fitzpatrick. Davis, right side, up in the air. Good.
What a finish by Davis. Really ends up kind of getting wrong-footed there, but able to get the finish anyway.
So going from 10 out of 5 points. Lead for the Huskies. Fuller. And
that's a travel.
He walked. Easy call to make there. In no man's land.
I'll tell you, Jay, I think he wanted to kick it out to Williams, but it was a good job by Shavers jumping that passing lane, and I think that took Fuller out of what he wanted to do, and he ends up shuffling his feet.
So Henderson against Lake, driving the lane. No, rust a shot. Rebound to Lake with the rebound. 3-on-1 break. Williams with the lefty jam.
Well, out of 50, how much do you give him on that one? We got the slam dunk contest going on here. We just saw another one from Williams.
Well, he kind of
pretty good style. A little leg kick out on that one.
He kind of bobbled it, so I'll probably give him a 45.
That's going to get you to the second round. I mean, at the very least.
Yeah, it was nice, but it wasn't like that wasn't a 50.
Yeah, you're not going to beat Michael and Dominique with that, but still.
It was good. 68-61. Elac over Compton Center. Brown, lefty 3 off the backboard. Watch out.
And he's 1 of 5 from long range.
And he's still stuck with his halftime points of 7. So
he led the Tartars in scoring in the victory over Ventura to Javon Brown, but the Huskies have done a great job defending him.
But in that game, he scored his points late in the game. Chavez off the spin, a jumper in the lane's good. So another timeout by Compton Center. We'll keep it here. So I want to ask you a question, if I may, Jeff. If you're the 2-seeded Compton Tartars, how do you find a way to get Brown involved?
First of all, I'm just glad it wasn't a question about the slam dunk contest because I was a little bit nervous that it was going to go that way. I think it's a terrific question. I think the first thing is the on-the-ball defense has been outstanding against Javon Brown. I think you have to go to your system. The Tartars seem like they're at their best when they run a lot of motion, get the ball moving quickly, a lot of cuts off the ball. See if you can do similar to what they did with Reddix. Get something where Brown's going at the basket, get him the ball on the cut. Maybe he can make a layup, get himself fouled, get himself to the line. You bring him in gradually that way. I think right now Brown's a little bit frustrated, trying to do a little too much off the dribble, not really sure where to go. So I'd like to see him get the ball passed to him on the cut toward the basket, see if he can get something good to happen there.
Or somewhat give what the defense is giving him. He's giving him a jump shot, but he's not really making it because they're really high difficulty shots off the side into the far corner. Maybe go to the top of the key or maybe even go in the lane a little bit.
Yeah, if there's a spot that you like on the floor, and what player doesn't have a spot that they like on the floor, maybe that's where your next shot comes from.
When they're realistically speaking.
Yeah, when you have high confidence, if there's a spot that you like. But for all we know, maybe the corner is his favorite spot.
Maybe.
we can't even really say for sure. But it'd be interesting to see. I think they've done a nice job. Shavers has stepped up there, taking what the defense gives. He was able to get a good look there. But if you're Brown, I think you're going to need him before it's all said and done here in a 5-point game.
So Elac ball off the timeout into Walker for Robert Fuller. And a
Fitzpatrick
deflection by Fitzpatrick.
I think one other thing to keep an eye on here, Jay, that's very important is if you're Javon Brown, this is where you have to play 150% defensively because maybe that's where you can get yourself back in the game. Maybe a steal and a breakaway, a layup. That can get you going. You can make something happen at both ends of the floor.
So Walker got bailed out. And a steal by Fitzpatrick.
Yeah,
Davis.
jumping that passing lane again.
Into Shavers against Walker. Layup, no good. Second try for Michael Shavers. No!
I'll tell you, Zeno Lake is doing something on defense that is really impressing me tonight, and that is he's doing a great job of backing off, staying away from that foul, not giving the contact that the player is looking for, trying to get that contact feeling, get the ball up on the glass, see if maybe they can get a shot and a foul, and doing a terrific job of taking that away, and you're seeing a lot of missed shots from point-blank range.
And that's the one thing, if you're Coach Higgins, if you lose this game, you'll say you missed so many layups from it within 5 feet.
Yep.
That may cost you the game. So Fuller going all the way. Williams with the putback layup.
Yeah, that ends up being a 2-on-1 after Fuller breaks the press. Henderson's got to come over. Williams does a great job crashing the offensive glass, gets the easy putback.
So Walker wisely slows it up.
This is a great decision by Walker.
Under 5 minutes to play. 70-63 your score. ELAC trying to get the upset win over the number 2 seed Compton Center Tartars. Walker. Open is Fuller for 3. No. Fitzpatrick with the rebound. Over 10 tonight is Anthony. Tip from behind.
I'd say if Fitzpatrick goes down again, but I think he's still down, but I think he's just frustrated.
Yeah, and somewhat a little bit fatigued.
Yeah.
So Taylor and Brown back in for
still a 7-point
Center.
game here. You look up, and if you're Compton Center, it seems like you've had so many chances. They're still in this game.
And if you're ELAC, you're saying the clock is so slow. It's like, can someone make it go a little bit faster?
Yeah.
So Henderson into House for Henderson. Against Lake, and a little body bump by
I think Lake with the forearm there and a little push.
Trying to somewhat absorb the contact coming from Henderson. On the roster, it says 265. I beg to question that on a good day.
I'm not buying it. I think Henderson's bringing a little more than that
more
at this point.
So he missed a 1-on-1 earlier.
Meanwhile, that is the 4th foul on Zeno Lake.
So makes the first one. Shavers in for Brown. So not the best night for Javon Brown. Under 10 points. He's only had 2 games where he's not had more than 10 points all season. It came in November. Second for Henderson, no good. Rebound to Williams. Reddix trying to fight the press. Gets around 3 defenders. Still going with the basketball. Don't have to rush anything if you're ELAC. Fuller back to Reddix. In the Lake. Lost a shot and fouled on Henderson.
Oh, that's a late whistle, and it's a good call there, I think, on the reach in. But it looked for a moment like Lake might have just lost that ball on the way up, but the late whistle comes in. Now I want to give a lot of credit to Reddix, who I think has made a great adjustment in this second half. At one point early in this second half, he had 1 point in the game. He turned the ball over 5 times. But I think he's clearly made the adjustment to the speed of the game, doing a much better job against the press and taking care of the basketball. And that's been a big part of the fact that East LA has been able to step out to a bit of a lead here.
And I think realizing that maybe scoring is not going to help my team win, but passing can help my team win too. Free throw for Lake is good. 71-64. Brown in for Shavers. Offense for defensive substitutions for Coach Higgins.
Well, and I think if you're East Los Angeles on the bench right now and you see Michael Shavers heading to the opposing bench, you're pretty happy.
You are.
That is not going to break my heart if I'm on that East Los Angeles sideline.
So 1 of 2 for Lake and a rebound for Brown. So Brown still with 7 points. In the corner, Taylor for 3. No. A foul on the rebound. Looks to be on Fitzpatrick. No, give it to Williams.
And if it is, I believe that's number 4 on Williams. So you got Lake with 4 and Williams potentially with 4. No, that's number 5.
That's 5. So
I thought he had 3, but obviously, evidently, that's a huge call.
So that's the 5th foul on Roderick Williams. Huge call.
So it's Williams with 5, and, of course, Lake's still out there with 4.
Right.
And that's a lot of the interior defense that
you've
had tonight
20 points
for East Los
going
Angeles.
to the bench, too.
Yep.
I mean, no offense to Timo Wami, but he's not Roderick Williams. So you lose Williams with 3:53 remaining in the game. It's only a 7-point ball game for the Huskies.
Do have an update from Ventura College, our other game on the women's side. The Pirates, just over 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, a 12-point lead over LA Valley. So the Ventura College women's basketball team trying to punch their ticket up to Las Positas on their way.
Shout out to Mike Cepeda on the call with that one.
Yep. I'll tell you, Mike's really mastered the technology. We've probably been on that broadcast. He'll bring this one in, keep them updated.
So 71-66, 2 free throws made by Fitzpatrick. Over to Reddicks.
Got to hurry.
Double teamed. Just getting past a 10-second marker, and he was fouled.
And that is not the foul if you're Compton Center. Reddick's an outstanding free throw shooter. You already have them a little bit out of sorts offensively, and you foul him 40 feet from the basket.
And he can't buy a shot all night. You give him 2 shots without a hand in his face from 15 feet.
It's Javon Brown, just his second foul.
So Reddick's trying to extend the lead to possibly 7 on the 1-and-1, and cannot. Over to Brown, 2-on-2 basketball to his left, driving all the way and gets the layup.
Yeah, Brown getting something going to the basket, an opportunity in transition.
So lead
quickly back the other way, but nearly turned over.
Fuller recovers it, gets the ball back from Saquon Walker.
And Walker, I think, becomes key right now for East Los Angeles with Williams not on the floor.
So step back 3 for Reddicks. No. Rebound to Wame.
Great job by Wame working the offensive glass. This has got to be Saquon Walker's moment at this point to step up for East Los Angeles. Williams not on the floor. Reddick struggling somewhat. It's Walker that needs to make some things happen.
And the key thing, if you're Compton Center, is just get another stop. It's now down to only 3 points on the scoreboard.
Yeah, long way to go if you're East Los Angeles here trying to finish this one out, but a lot of basketball still left.
Tooth and nail the entire night with ELAC. Just need that second win to somewhat push them over. But if you're ELAC, just keep the game at your pace and do what you do best. So Fuller out for Birch back in the ballgame.
I'll tell you another thing, Jay. If I'm East Los Angeles College here, I'm not going to bother with the full court pressure. I think if you pack it in down low, you saw there that the pressure, once they broke it, that created an opportunity for Javon Brown in transition. I'm much more likely to make this team earn it in a half-court set.
Huge rebound by Reddicks off the missed free throw by Wame.
This is a third opportunity for East Los Angeles on this possession.
So Reddicks against Taylor. So man-to-man now for Coach Higgins. Walker. Reddicks open for 3. No good. It's third try by Burtz.
2 offensive rebounds on that set, and Burtz finally gets the finish against one of the best rebounding teams in the state in Compton Center.
A lot of dancing by Brown leads to a missed shot and a rebound for Fitzpatrick up and in. Timeout by Coach Higgins in Compton Center. 2:35 remaining in the game. A 3-point ball game on SoCalCollegeSports.com. So a 3-point ball game, 2:37 to go. If you're just joining us, Roderick Williams fouled out 2 minutes ago. 73-70 ELAC on top of the 2-seed Compton Center Tartars. And a steal by Fitzpatrick. Going all the way to layup. Up and good.
It's an offensive foul.
Charge.
That's a great call. I think Reddick does a great job taking the charge there on Fitzpatrick. And what a job giving up his body. That could not have been fun. Under 2 minutes to go, Fullerton up 14 on Chaffee. So the top team in the South looking like they're well on their way to a trip to Las Positas.
So that may be number 4 on Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, still waiting on the call. Well, Fitzpatrick's trying. He's waiting at the line. I think he's trying to hope he can change that call. I don't think he's going to have much success with that strategy. Maybe if I wait at the line, they're going to give me the ball.
So make it only a third. So try it again for Elac. Shanna defense down the floor. Reddick's double team. Another steal by Alonzo Taylor.
And I think for Reddick's, talked about giving a little credit, he adjusted to the speed, but I think on the other side of that, still too much dribbling. Tries to split the double team there. It's not easy to do. I think if you're Reddick's, you're going to have a lot more success against this press, giving the ball up, moving the ball through passes a lot more quickly.
So a timeout call by Coach Tom Mosley. We'll keep it here. So another question for you, Jeff. I'm a big fan of questions. So
I'm somewhat of a fan of answers.
So now,
not really.
Since you are so the maestro of 3C2A basketball, so now if you're Elac here, you were up by 10 throughout most second half. Compton Center could not buy a shot, but somehow they're only up by 3. How in the world do you somewhat calm the storm in this hostile environment? The crowd breathing on you saying, let's go Compton, let's go Compton. Elac's not very good, you stink, all these negative connotations. Without your best player.
There is a reason that I'm up here and not down on that sideline, Coach Mosley. But, I think they have to continue to do an even better job against the press. You just saw the turnover there. It's not a secret at this point, with a couple of minutes left in this game, what Compton Center is going to do.
Right.
It's what they've been doing for 38 minutes. And really at this point in the game, getting back to a point that I think you made earlier, late in ball games, it's about execution. I mean, at this point, if you're the coach, if you're doing any teaching, there's a problem. At this point, the players should already know what their roles are and what to do. But you can't have plays like you just saw there, individual players trying to do too much. You got to resist that temptation. Work the ball, do what you need to do against the press, take some time off the clock, work for open shots. This is stuff that they should be able to do.
The one key thing we have not seen in a while, key play we have not seen in a while, Robert Fuller. He broke the press with ease.
Yeah.
Free throw for Taylor. Good.
And I think to be fair to Reddick's, you got to help him too. You got to give him options. Right now, I'm going to do a lot of work in the backcourt alone, and Compton Center is not being punished for running hard double teams at him. And I think if you're the other players, you need to step up. Guys like Walker and Burtz need to come back, give him a little bit of help breaking this press.
So 72-73. Over to Burtz, on the lane, Wami blocked but fouled.
Yeah, I think it's a good call, good job by Wami. Momentarily lost the picture there, but got it back for you, and our apologies for that. But Wami fouled hard, and he's going to head to the line, and not a big surprise here with a couple of minutes left, Jay, that free throws going to be a big part of the story here down the stretch.
So the foul on Fitzpatrick now is 4th personal. So Wami has been hot or cold from the line. He has made 2 in a row once tonight. First free throw, no good. So we'll see how Compton Center will adjust with 2:11 to go. One more for Wami. Gets 1 or 2. 74-72. 2 minutes remaining in the game. Javon Brown has 9 points. On the end line is Calvin House.
Wow.
So barring the foul by Frank Burtz.
That's great pressure by Burtz, helping to force that turnover. Jay, with 2:01 left in this game, the winner of this game, it's going to be about defense and rebounding. And that's what you watch here in the last couple of minutes.
So Reddix will try to redeem himself. Going against the pressure from the Tartars. Over to Birds against Henderson. The high shot. Good. 76-72.
That's a great job by Birds pulling up on that shot instead of trying to create the contact with Henderson and making it more difficult.
So a good bright spot is Frank Birds with some points in the starting five for Coach Mosley. Off the pump fake, back to Brown with the switch to Fitzpatrick. High three-pointer, no. Birds. And he was out of bounds.
Yeah, he gets caught in the corner there. I think if you're Birds in that situation, too, it's another situation where I think you take a timeout.
You have to. You had nowhere to go. You couldn't see a green jersey in sight. Sometimes a timeout does not hurt anybody.
East Los Angeles down to 2 timeouts, so not a lot left, but you still do have the couple. And I think the ball's got more value there at that point.
So Compton Center basketball down by 4 at home. Before that will lead to a timeout, so we'll come back rather quickly. 1:23 to go in the game. ELAC 76, Compton Center 72 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. .23 remaining. Off the inbounds to Brown. Driving the lane. Tipped away by Wami. Fitzpatrick recovers. Over to Brown. Extra pass. Taylor for 3. No. Tip to Birch. Birch ahead to Walker. Walker right side. The layup up and in. Sakan Walker. Lead back to 6. Fitzpatrick all the way. Tough layup.
How about the big man, coast to coast?
Over to Birch with the layup. So back and forth layups for both sides.
Under a minute to go now.
Taylor. And a foul on the reach in by Wami. Not a smart foul.
Boy, Reddix really had a bead.
So Alonzo Taylor will go to the line. And that's it for Wami. He has 5 fouls. So going deep into the bench now is John Mosley.
This may be fortuitous timing here with under a minute to go. And Wami checking out just in time for Coach Mosley to go a little small, which he might want to do here in the final minute.
And get better free throw shooting. So they now bring back in Robert Fuller.
The players on the floor. Somebody out here.
Coach Mosley was like, be quiet. I know what I'm doing. So free throws for Alonzo Taylor. Under a minute remaining. First free throw. Gets the roll, 75-80.
47.7. Still enough time here. But now the Tartars working against the clock a little bit, and they need to stop.
So they're down by 4. Don't have to foul yet. And the Birds. And a bad pass by Birds.
I'm not sure what. That's a very dangerous pass to start with, and it really wasn't close. He threw that about a foot or 2 out of bounds.
So The Tartars with another possession.
Though, to be fair to Frank Burtz, that is about the closest thing to a mistake that we've seen from him.
Into Fitzpatrick with the fake, and the layup. So making them pay is a 2-point game again.
A little trouble for Walker.
Reddick swarmed over to Walker. Recovers his dribble to his right. Triple teamed into Fuller. Fuller to Lake. Back to Reddick's.
Oh, they had Burtz wide open.
So 14 on the shot clock. About a 9-second differential between shot clock and game clock for Walker. 2-point ball game. 5 to shoot and a foul on Henderson.
That is heartbreaking for the Tartars there, who worked the shot clock all the way down and then commit the foul. At that point, almost barring a wide open layup, you're better off taking your chances with whatever shot the Huskies put up.
And that's 4 on Henderson. So huge, and I mean huge free throws for Sakan Walker.
Yes, 16.1 remaining in the game.
So you have to make 2 of 2 if you're ELAC, because Compton Center is not the best three-point shooting team.
Yeah, he's got 2 free throws coming, both teams in the double bonus.
And a huge miss by Walker.
This is still a huge free throw, though,
yes,
because as you talk about, not a great three-point shooting team. So getting up 3 here is huge if you're East Los Angeles. Much different story if they only needed 2.
So Walker for 1 more. So he gets 1 of 2, 81-78.
You know, and I think if you're Walker there, I know he's disappointed in himself right now, but I think in all honesty, if you're East Los Angeles College with 16.1 remaining, that's mission accomplished. 4 would have been great.
Right.
You make it a 2-possession game. You change the outlook here. But you have forced this team that has struggled from long range all season with 16 seconds left to put up a shot from 3. They were only 1 of 9, if memory serves, at the half. They've only knocked down, I believe, 1 more in the second half. So they're shooting all of about 10 or 15% from long range in this game. You can force them into that kind of shot, you're going to take your chances. So I think Mr. Quan Walker, you did what you needed to there. Now play some defense, hit the board, see if you can finish this one out.
They're 1 for 9 in the first half, and they took at least, I want to say, about 12 in this half.
Yeah, and I remember that Fitzpatrick hit 1, but I don't remember another one going down.
So 16.1 seconds. You want to see if the ball might go back to Fitzpatrick. He's your best scorer in the last 2 minutes or so. You get nothing from Brown.
Statistically, Brown and Taylor are your best three-point shooters on the season, but I agree. Fitzpatrick's the one who knocked one down. He's the one who's been playing well. The other thing, too, I think if you hurry and you're Compton Center, you have enough time to go right to the front of the rim, get a quick 2 if you can, quick foul, maybe try for a steal on the inbounds pass. Lord knows they've been able to do that a couple times tonight. So I don't necessarily think you have to go for the 3 here. It's a question of time. I might put the ball in Javon Brown's hands, drive it hard to the front of the rim, and then take my chances with fouls.
So it'll be House, Taylor, Fitzpatrick, Brown, and Henderson for Compton Center. Fuller, Reddicks, Lake, Walker, and Birch for ELAC.
And it's a good decision. Now East Los Angeles can extend the defense. Try and take some time off.
So Taylor, cross court to Brown, tipped away by Reddicks, into Fitzpatrick, shot up and good.
6.7, and a quick timeout taken.
So they did burn 9 seconds off the game clock.
I think that's significant, though, from the standpoint that with 6.7, I think if you're Compton Center, you really can't even go for the steal, maybe on the first pass. So for East Los Angeles, I think there's some good news in that with 6.7, I think Compton Center's got to just foul right away and take their chances from there. I don't think they can go for the steal for 2 or 3 seconds. That's going to take too much time off the clock.
And you can play a free throw game with the Huskies because they have not made most of their free throws. So they have to at least make 2 or 2 here to make it out of reach somewhat. But they've had missed more than they've attempted. So we'll see how they adjust with 6.7 seconds.
Thinking about where you really want the ball in Reddick's hands. He's one of your better free throw shooters on the season, but he has been clearly taken out of what he likes to do in this ballgame. It's been a tough matchup for him, and I think he's struggling with his shot. So there may be some good news there for Compton Center in that if you do foul Reddick's, he's had his struggles tonight. He might not be the free throw shooter that he normally is.
So we'll see what both sides do. So no ball advancement for Elex. So they got to go 94 feet or barring a foul by Compton Center.
Yeah, I suspect that they will try to get the ball into Reddick's hands.
He's on the floor for the Huskies.
Javon Brown on him. You got one chance if you're Compton Center, I think, here to go for the steal.
So Walker to throw it in. Dangerous pass over the Birds, and they foul him.
Well, I'll tell you what I like about that call is if that ball is stolen, you've essentially given the ball back to Compton Center with about 5 seconds on the clock that's running about 75 feet from the basket. And I think, if I'm East Los Angeles College and that ball gets stolen, I got a running clock with 5 seconds left, 75 feet away, and who knows who has the ball. I'm going to take my chances there with the shot that they're going to get off of that.
So that's 5 on Chopper, so he's gone. So no timeouts left for either side.
Almost a bad break, I think, for East Los Angeles that they actually caught it, the pass.
So
big free throw for Birds.
Huge shot by Frank Birds. Growing minute by the minute.
Another thing to point out here very quickly, no timeouts for Compton Center, so they got to go right to it.
So 5 seconds for Javon Brown with 4, with 3, with 2. Where you going, Brown? With 1, the shot in the air, no good. East Los Angeles with the upset on the road. They will go to Las Positas. Your score, 83-80. We'll be right back. We're back inside Tartar Gymnasium. Upset here in Compton. The East Los Angeles Huskies steal one for the number 2 seed, El Camino Compton Center. We have the overjoyed Husky side. If you're Compton Center, you're just heartbroken that your season is now over.
Yeah, well, that's story of playoff basketball there, and especially at the college level with the one and done. It's an emotional experience, and I think you saw that on both sides. Obviously, elation for East Los Angeles and a return to the championship round at Las Positas this time. So a program that is clearly on the rise over the last few years, continues to ascend. Certainly congratulations to the Huskies. And, hey, they overcame a lot here tonight. A 27-4 team in El Camino Compton Center that was having a fantastic season, playing great basketball, playing at home. To come here, second consecutive win on the road for East Los Angeles. And you just have to tip your hat to them. This is an outstanding performance, and certainly our congratulations.
Key stats, looking at the box score, 25 for Roderick Williams. He did foul out with about 5 minutes left in the game. 18 points from Frank Burtz.
Yeah, Burtz, unbelievable tonight. Chips in with 4 assists as well. That was second on the team. Just a fantastic job. And Saquon Walker finishing it out with 15, and big free throw late in the game. But Saquon, as always, doing an outstanding job. So for East Los Angeles, what a gutty performance. They have a couple of guys who struggle, as you might expect, against a team that presents the kind of problems that Compton Center does. They lose their number one option with about 4 or 5 minutes left in the game. Still hold on in hostile territory. And what can you say? That's an incredible performance. And, one of those ones where I think the whole team gets the game ball, because everybody stepped up, it would seem, at one time or another with a big play, and that's what it was going to take.
Another key stat on the losing side for Compton Center, 9 points for Javon Brown. 4 of 16 shooting. Had that shot tipped by Reddix on the second and last possession of the game.
Yeah, I thought that the final 5 seconds was, really a microcosm of the entire game. They give the ball to Javon Brown. He jets into the front court and really has nowhere to go. Every time it seems that he cuts one way or another, there's a defender with him, wasn't able to get himself free, and ultimately he had to settle for a shot from about 30 to 35 feet away. And that's where I think you have to give credit to the other side. That's just great defense. Ordinarily, Javon Brown is able to work himself to a lot better look than that. But East Los Angeles, defensively tonight, especially in that backcourt, was huge, and they overcome an unbelievable performance from Anthony Fitzpatrick tonight with 27 and 13. Yeah. But Fitzpatrick ultimately doesn't get enough help tonight. Chavez with 14, Kevonte Davis with 10 points. But the job that they did on Javon Brown, on Dejon Henderson, at least limiting his effectiveness and lessening his role, I think was ultimately the story in this one, and what was able to get East Los Angeles over the top.
But the one concern, if you're Eli going into Las Positas next week, 27 turnovers. So 27 giveaways by the Huskies, and only 17 for the Tartars, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, that's phenomenal to turn the ball over 27 times and win the game. And to be able to do that, I mean, it's who would have thunk it? But I think both sides obviously had a lot of opportunities in this one, had their chances, and you knew it was going to come down to the final minute. And East Los Angeles just a shade better tonight, I think, ultimately was the story. Let's remind everybody before we sign off that, of course, we have full coverage here on SoCalCollegeSports.com of the 3C2A men's and women's basketball championships, end-to-end coverage, and I mean that in every way possible, I guess. 14 games in 4 days, the men's and the women's side from Las Positas. You can see every minute of every game right here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Want to quickly pass along some thanks tonight. First of all, to everybody over at East Los Angeles College, the entire basketball program, athletic department, for making this possible and bringing us on here to do the game. Certainly our appreciation for that. Everybody here as well at El Camino Compton Center as well, making us feel welcome, making a spot for us. And, of course, personally, I thank you, Jay Holloway, for coming in here. I know you've already been in action today calling baseball. So, Jay, you work morning to night, evidently, calling games here. I know you wouldn't have it any other way, but obviously our thanks, and as always, a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you.
And look forward to doing that more in the future. Again, if you're interested in any of the scores from any of the other games, feel free to check the cccaasports.org website. Terrific website. They'll have the latest scores from all the remaining games on both the men's and women's side. on their site. So feel free to follow along and then join us at Las Positas. For Matt Henson, Jay Holloway, Mike Cepeda, everybody here at SoCalCollegeSports.com. Once again, the final score, 83-80. East Los Angeles College punches their ticket to Las Positas. We will see you in Las Positas on Wednesday, March 8th. So long, everybody.